My name is Sheena with Rise Wellness, and this is our weekly tarot reading for the Way of Namaste. This week I'm using the Motherpeace Tarot deck by Vogel and Vicki. Today is July 2nd, 2024, and I'm just going to get right into it. We start with the heart of the matter, and it's the Hanged One. This is not a card of violence or crucifixion. The Hanged One represents a voluntary submission of the ego to the spiritual power of the heart. Its ancient form as a hanger, Artemis, symbolizes surrender to the female archetype of receptivity and compassion, the first step towards shamanism and spiritual control. This card is all about the surrender. It's about recognizing where we are on the cross so we can step outside of the polarity matrix that makes a left or a right or a wrong and sees the bigger picture, zooms out to see a wider perspective where there is a yes and, where there's a left, right, and a center, where there's more choices than were previously available. Our challenge this week is the Chariot, and the Chariot represents a vehicle under control, the Amazon consciousness that allows a person to take charge of her own life and make her own decisions, agreements, and responses. The Chariot signifies a winner, a charioteer, a victorious warrior, self-disciplined and firmly grounded on the physical plane. As this comes up as our obstacle this week, this card suggests that our vehicle is not feeling under control right now. Perhaps you're feeling stuck this week. Right now we're in Gene Key 39, and this is the shadow of provocation. So life may be showing you where you're feeling stuck or immobilized, incapable of moving on or reaching for that next step. Maybe that next step feels like a quantum leap into the unknown. Maybe it's the scariest step that you've taken. Life might be showing you all the ways that it's going to provoke you, to irritate you, until you make a change. This is the gift of dynamism. It's dynamic, it's changing, but it can also feel like a blast, like an explosion, like a pressure cooker has been released. And right now in Cancer season, we're in the emotional realms. So right now we're swimming in things and how we have related with other. This may be all archetypes of the beloved showing themselves. Maybe past heartbreaks coming up to be looked at. Maybe wounds between our mother, our parents, the way we parent our child, the way we were parented. There's so many ways that we can be thinking about the emotional realm right now in ways that we're shifting in to how we relate. Every time that we have a new awareness in the choice that's there for our relating, we liberate ourselves. And so as the universe provokes us, each provocation is the seed of liberation if we choose to make a change, if we choose to respond instead of react. And sometimes respond is in the stillness. It's in the not doing. It's in the receiving. Where we're coming from right now is the Nine of Cups. You made your wishes and now they're coming true. So receive these blessings full of happiness and positive, expansive feelings. Do you remember when you used to pray for what you had now? You used to pray for a regulated nervous system. You prayed for friends who loved and cared about you deeply, boundlessly, unconditionally. You prayed for a deeper connection with the earth. So let's take a moment now within our breath to feel gratitude that everything in life has brought you to this moment now. Even if this moment is full of uncertainty, let's take a breath. despite how hard it may have been, despite how unsure you may be feeling, despite the unknowns around what moving forward looks like. At one point, this was everything you had wished for, because you have choice now. And this is the key to your liberation, is reminding yourself that you have choice. So let's celebrate this moment right here, right now, with a deep breath in. Maybe a smile washes over your face as you come all the way into the present moment, releasing anything that no longer serves. And as we exhale, let's feel all of that stagnant energy moving now, being released now. What are we conscious of now? Woo! After that deep breaths, it's the 10 of Wands. There is an extreme amount of energy that's around you now. This energy could lead to a possible burnout. It could also lead to a tremendous creative explosion, depending on how willing you are to tune all the way into how you're feeling. Let's check in right now. There's a storm brewing right now, Storm Hurricane Beryl, which has been called a Category 5. And I feel this surge of energy, and I can see it. I can look at it on the weather report. I can see there it is. I don't have to take it on in my body as a storm. I can be with the storm. I can even see it. It's even been named. It's called Beryl. And it is barreling through Jamaica right now. And may we recognize that as we regulate our nervous system and create sanctuary in our bodies, we get to emanate that sanctuary, especially to all of our soul family, all of our fractal family, all of our beloveds in Jamaica, all of the ones in the eye of the storm, in the path of the storm, that will be affected by the storm, as we know we all are, because we are all one. So we are all riding the waves of a big storm right now. If you're feeling like you're on the edge of collapse and ready to make a shift, lean into that. Take a breath, take a break, take a nap. Maybe you're feeling like you're on the brink of creation and you're ready to birth something new in the world. Breathe that in. Celebrate that. For only you can decide what you do with all of this energy that you are feeling. So before you make any rash decisions, make sure that you are coming from a clear mind. Is this a tool of self-sabotage you're dangerously close to? Or is there a message coming to you that feels in alignment for you to grab hold of to make a change? Only you will know. What's coming up right now is the 2 of Discs. You've got the ability to handle complexity. You may feel like you've got a lot of plates spinning. Let's make sure that you are feeling grounded and supported, and you're setting up the tools so that you can stay connected with your moral compass. May everything we do be in the highest and greatest good for all beings in all time, spaces, and dimensions. And may this prayer ripple out and be embodied through every thought that we have and every action that we have, aligning ourselves with the highest and greatest choice for all, recognizing sovereignty is what we have. Just because you can handle a lot of things at once doesn't mean that's good for you. Doesn't mean that you have to. Doesn't mean that you have to feel like you have to do it alone. So, invitation this week to think yes and. Both things can be true. Let's play in the paradox this week, because truth is always found in the paradox. We are multidimensional beings having a multidimensional experience. We can be in two places at the same time. We can share our energy here, now, in this present moment with ourselves, and we can also share it with every other living being on our planet right now. And none of them are going to take away from the other. So may you feel happiness now with how things are going for you. And may you also feel happiness if you decide to throw in the towel and start completely over with someone or something new. If you've been writing a book and you don't like the direction the book is going, tear it up. Throw it in the fire. Write a new book. That gets to be your life now. If you've been going down a path for a while, don't forget, you still get to make sure you like where you're going. You don't have to be stuck. You are not a tree. If you've changed your mind on a certain project that you've been working on for a long time, it's not too late to change it. It's okay to birth something new. All is not lost. Everything brought you into this moment now. So if there's a dynamic shift, if there's a change that feels provocative, lean into it. Trust yourself with the fantasy that you can have something that has been beyond your wildest imagination. What's unconscious for us right now is the world. All the universe is a dance of energies, Maya Shakti. It's a movement of creative force in us and through us. And this world card signifies that the personality is no longer blinded and confused by identification with what is not real. True liberation and freedom are felt within the individual and the group. Once we feel freedom, we will never forget that feeling, and it will get to ripple out into every environment that we step into. The world is not everything that we can see. It's so much more than that. It's everything that we can imagine, everything that we can feel, everything that we can simply know to be true in our heart of hearts. Allow yourself the ability to trust that life is bringing you where you need to go, and your life force energy is multi-dimensional. So imagine your best case scenario. Play in your fantasies of how both and can simultaneously exist when you are not limited by one space-time continuum. Right now, we are all learning as a collective how to shift the way we come into right relationship. It starts with ourselves. It starts with our connection with our water. It starts with our connection to our feelings. It starts with our connection to air. It starts with our connection to our thoughts. It starts with our connection to fire. It starts with our connection to the divine will that passionately activates us from within us. And it starts within the earth, within our physical body, when we are ready to step in a new direction, to create a new template, to tell a new story. The querent this week is the Lovers. And the lovers rush together, symbolizing the play of polar opposites and the urge to merge in loving, harmonious union. If the lovers can get beyond traditional sex rule stereotypes and culturally ingrained fantasies, their romantic union may help experience their own higher selves, may help them experience their own higher selves. You see, Tantra is the embodiment of making love with all of life. It's being romanced by life through the cosmos. Let's be real. Our human physical partner is probably not going to check all of the boxes for us. It would be impossible for one person to be everything for us. So why not gift ourselves the luxury of fantasy, of imagination, of wonder and awe, so that we stay open to life whisking us away. We stay open to our imagination bringing us closer to the feelings of love from within us, so that we don't have to rely solely on the external world, and we simply wouldn't have to rely on one individual. Everything becomes the beloved in the Siddhic frequency, because we get to make love with all of life, because love is who we are. We are artists, we are creators. We are here literally birthing a whole new way of relating with one another, with the earth. Instead of destroying and burning everything down, we get to create through our orgasmic bliss, stepping into the embryonic fluid, the nourished place of satiation, of unconditional love that's not bound by a particular form or a way of being. It is all that there is. Just thinking about a group chat I had with my soul sisters this morning, and I was reminded how romance exists so purely between kindred spirits who feel the beloved in everything. Last night I had attended an intimate cacao ceremony with my sisters, and the love there was just flowing, and it was so pure and it was so angelic, and yet I know that it would be so hard to explain to the average Joe, and how lost it could be on so many that could try to morph it into something that it was not. Our environment this week is the Three of Discs, and it refers to our physical things, the earth, our body, our work, our money. This card invites your family into a group project, a collaboration, a sacred circle, a ceremony. This card is about finding your life's work through the spirit realms and working together. I'm going to speak into sacred space here. My community, common unity, is manifesting sanctuary spaces. Safe spaces where we can be. Safe spaces where we can feel. Safe spaces on the material realm where all our material needs are met. And my sisters and I are even brainstorming pilgrimages to sacred sites for crystal grid activations. Maybe your community is brainstorming something similarly about how we intend to create heaven on earth with more sanctuary spaces for people to feel safe, to feel. Where there they can remember that they are one and awaken to the light of their true nature. Our hopes and dreams this week is the Four of Swords, and this card refers to air, our mental realms, and the realities that our mind creates. And right now, this is an invitation to cleanse other people's energies out of yourself by meditating, pulling the cords that connect you to people off of you. Maybe with scissors cutting the cords, maybe like weeds pulling them out from the earth. Let's imagine for a moment that we are filled with golden light. Let's imagine that we are divinely protected And now let's call in our benevolent angels for support. We're here, we are divinely protected. Please cut all cords for all things no longer serving the highest and greatest goods for all beings, in all space, in all time, in all dimensions. And now feel these cords falling away from you, freeing you from people, from places, from situations that are no longer aligned with your highest calling. Trust in the timing of it all, that everything is as it should be. You are protected and guided, and you can trust that it is done. It is done. It is done. Our outcome this week is the Strength card. The matriarchal mind is often represented as the Lady of the Beasts, she who takes us through sheer spiritual conquests. This is the strength of the archetypal savior and redeemer. This is Tara of the Tibetans, or the Celtic Bridget, the queen of fairies. She is the mistress of the spirits. She is the shaman, sibyl, prophetess, the witch, and mama figure. Trust in your strength to handle this season of your life, despite the rolling waves and all the highs and lows. To be human is to deeply feel, and to be awakened is to deeply feel others. Sometimes we may feel like we're in the lion's den, and yet this card tells us that even when we are protected. We can tame the lion because we are the lion. We are the storm. And we can open the cage and we can walk out of the den anytime that we want to, because we have choices. We have options. And even when it doesn't feel like it, you are strong and you are capable of weathering this storm. Dream big, little one. No dream is too big, and the universe is telling you that you really can have it all. I know that you've felt scared before, as though you didn't have the tools to become unstuck. Well, this reading assures you that you do. Change and movement is already happening below the surface. It's upon you now. Most of it has been happening in the unseen realms, so stay grounded, stay connected, but also let your imagination run wild, because you really can have it all, and it is safe for you to start believing that you can. Before we close, let's take another deep breath in all the way up from our pelvic floor, from the base of our form connected to the earth now. And as we feel our chest expanding, taking in more and more and more and more and more of this air, creating more space for divinity to flow. Let's hold for a beat at the top in a moment of stillness, in restraint, waiting, holding, patiently trusting, surrendered. And as we exhale, maybe you let out a sigh and allow something to go peacefully. May we think of all of our brothers and sisters in the world now, and recognize that by us creating sanctuary now, we offer sanctuary to them. Places that are affected by war, places that are affected by storm, places that are affected by homelessness. May we be a temple of love. May we be a sanctuary. May we provide ourselves love so that we can weather these storms because we're feeling them. And let's not dilute the experience by numbing out, but let's go all the way into the present moment through our breath, recognizing that through each expansive breath, we allow in possibility of a new world. And not only that, we anchor it into being. We manifest it onto the physical form, into the physical realm. Our sanctuary that we have just created will now offer a physical place of solace for another being. May we recognize that we always have that power. Sending you so much love and stamina this week. May you rest when you need to rest. And may you get up and go when you need to get up and go. And may you have a regulated nervous system so that you know when to make the right decision. I love you. Namaste.